What is going on YouTube? Broken Eyes coming at you today with a B.E.S deck profile of your daily deck profiles that I've been doing the last week. It's coming to a close soon. I think I only have like one or two more decks to show you. That's about it. One newish deck. All the rest are you've already seen before. But anyway, so B.E.S archetype in general is a very, very old archetype. I remember in GX, Jaden faced off against the guy once. That was it. And that's about the most support. There's actually still anime cards that they haven't even made for it. But yeah, so it's basically kind of like, it reminds me kind of a Cosmos. You summon your big ship and there's no pilots or anything like that. And you basically beat your opponent with high attack position monsters. And all their effects are, with the field spell, it's great because when they can't be targeted or destroyed, and their normal effects is they can't be destroyed by battle either unless they remove a counter. So counter is kind of an old mechanic as well in the game. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. I remember having all the cards back when I was a lot younger, just one of each of the B.E.S, but I always thought they looked pretty cool. It's just a pity they work kind of do. Now I'm going to tell you real quick how the deck actually works. The deck kind of works it's all based around the field spell and this card here. And Boss Rush is an old card as well, as based around those three cards. They're your main combo pieces, and you're kind of, a lot of the time, the one thing worrying about this deck is you struggle to get the field spell and protect the field spell. But once you do, the deck can go off and you can have a really, really strong board every turn. It's very, very good that way. But it's just that kind of, every deck has one little flaw, and this flaw is kind of getting to your field spell and protecting it. I was thinking of running Malefic Stardust Dragon, but we'll get into that later. Anyway, so this deck, this card, it can be normal or special summoned. If your opponent throws a monster, you can special summon it from your hand. And it gets 3 counters basically. And with the field spell, it becomes a 3200 beater, which is really good as kind of your main boss. And you can also go into your A plays with this. And next you have, it's kind of a smaller version that came out a little more recently than the older ones. But this is Mark II, and it has the same effect. It can special summon itself if your opponent throws a monster and you don't. And it can give itself, how many counters? 3 counters as well. So with the field spell gives an extra counter. So this one ends up having 4, and this one has 4. And like I said, it can't be tried. It can attack, and every time it attacks, it loses a counter. So it basically can attack 4 times, but a lot of the time it won't even stay on the field for that length of time. And the best thing is, when it doesn't stay on the field, Boss Rush gets another one onto the field. So that's the whole mechanic of the game, basically. Yeah. Next, for the oldest, most strongest one, this was back in the day the best one. This one basically, it can keep its counters forever, so it can attack forever based on a coin toss, which is another very, very old mechanic, as you can tell. It's 2500 beater, so it will become 3000, and this one will become 29. So this one, you flip a coin, and if you get it right, you don't lose your counter. If you don't, you lose your counter. So it still gets, if it's normal summon, it gets 3 counters, but if it's special summon, it only gets that 1 counter. So you're kind of basing on luck on that guy. But he is probably the second strongest there anyway. Then you have B.E.S Tetran. Sorry, I don't know if I named them. So Big Core Mark II was that one, and then Covered Core was that one. And this is B.E.S Tetran. So Tetran is your back row destroyer. So basically you can get rid of a counter to destroy a back row. And if it's normal summoned, I think if they're all normal summoned, they get 3. But when they're special summoned, they only get the 1 from the field, they only get the 1 counter from the field spell. So yeah, so it's kind of, you can either use their effect or going to be destroyed or whatever. But when you get your field up and going, their effects are really useful. And this one here, then I couldn't get super, but these are my old 2 other ones. From CRV, whatever that is. And this one was from CPO3, whatever that was. Anyway, so this one has, it can remove a counter and put a monster in defense mode. Back in the day, that used to be amazing. But right now, it's not. So, down in levels, they keep going down in levels. Yeah, that's what that one does. Same effect. When it's normal summoned, gets 3 counters, when not. I have a bit of a kaiju engine in this. Game Seal, because a lot of them, except for the last 2, have less attack than Game Seal, but also to get rid of some of your opponent's tricky cards that they might summon, to get rid of them. Next, Maxi for a bit of consistency, and that's it for the monsters. Next, for the spell cards, we'll go for B.E.F Zelos. Now this is the main MVP card of the deck. Basically, once per turn, you can special summon a B.E.S card in your hand. It also, when it's activated, you can get Boss Rush to your hand. all your B.E.S monsters gain 500 attack, and they can't be destroyed by card effects. So that's how B.E.S works. Really, really good actually, for having so many effects. And then the old card, Boss Rush. Boss Rush, basically, when a B.E.S card is destroyed on the field, doesn't have to be by your effects or anything like that. Just as soon as it's gone, you can special summon another one from your deck. So you can keep going for, if you have the other, like Tetran and things like that, you can get rid of its own counter, attack is destroyed, and then you can special summon your Mark II or Mark III, is the way that works. Next, 3 terraforming, because you want to see the field spell as much as possible. And I'd honestly think about running Pathfinder. I just don't have a Pathfinder, but I'll look into it eventually. Next, because you're going to be, for the first few turns, you kind of want to run Pot of Diwali. Now, I know with special summon and stuff, but a lot of the time you can actually work around this card, and it will get you to your defensive plays and stuff, because you will be worrying kind of about if you lose your board, how to make it up again. And Pot of Diwali actually works out like that. Works well with that. Some destruction cards. Galactic Cyclone. It's not a bad card. I mean, you'd probably want to run the other Cyclone card, whatever it's called. But this is still a good back row removal. And then Dark Hole works really well in this deck because you can destroy your own monsters and special summon back new monsters with new counters and stuff, as well as destroying your opponents. Then Soul Charge to go for all of them, special summon them. Limb removal is really good because your monsters won't be destroyed. You can have them gain, just say you have your 3000 attacker, it will go to 6000 and it won't be destroyed, depending on the dice or the coin toss, obviously. 1 day a piece, just because if you're running into it and you could lose that turn or whatever, or you know what I mean, it's a nice little defensive card. And the last 3 cards I run, as everyone knows, Quake and Mirror Force. I'd probably run more Mirror Forces as well. I'd probably run a Rippling Mirror Force as well if I could, just for that extra defense. That's pretty much it. There's an extra deck, but you probably won't be going into the extra deck. Anyone won't be going to extra deck. But I run an 8s, 2 7s, and then I run a bit of a side deck. So what you can do is you can run 2 Cherry Blossom because you don't use your extra deck, and what you can do is fill it with all the current meta, and side this card in whenever, and fill it with Zodiacs, whatever else people might be using, and you can get rid of their extra deck. That's what Cherry Blossom does. You can basically discard it and get rid of an extra deck monster in your extra deck and remove all copies of that monster in your opponent's extra deck. So it might work well with some Zodiac stuff. You can completely get rid of them altogether. But that's it for the deck profile, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know if you're liking this daily deck profile stuff, and leave a comment, like and subscribe, and good luck.